You are welcome back to African Colonization TV. Here we'll give you everything that concerns that happens in the world, Nigeria, Biafra land, and the history of the Biafran people. So in today's video, we go into the issue concerning Nigeria. According to the heading, says, finally, the worst has happened in Nigeria that provoke Israel, UN, and US concerning the Christian genocide going on in Nigeria. So in this video, you are going to hear directly from this our brother. He explained so many things concerning things that is happening in Nigeria and mostly the Christian genocide, because something that provoke the Israel and also the US that makes them to send the soldiers into Nigeria. Because if you can see the issue concerning this Christian genocide and then this buying of Christian everywhere in Nigeria, it is giving the world a very big concern. Not only the America, not only the Israel, but the global world in large. It is affecting everywhere, everybody. And as it is, that is why the American, they are not taking it easy to the Nigerian government. And they are provoking because of what is going on in Nigeria. So don't skip any part of the video. Try to watch to the end, because this is our man. You explain a lot of things concerning the issue that is going on in Nigeria and how the Israel is also planning to join hands together with the American government to make sure that they wipe out all those terrorists that is already taking over everywhere in the country. And then if you can see very well, you will know that the government themselves, they are somehow, how come something like this will be happening in your country? You cannot be broadcasting the live stream media where everybody used to listen to. They don't used to listen. They don't used to give some kind of a news, things that is really happening. It is only all those small media that used to speak, and also the foreign media that used to speak about the issue, about the things that is going on in the country. It is very, very provoking. So don't go anywhere. Sit by and watch to the end. As you're watching, like, subscribe, and share the video to go around. Let others see things happening in Nigeria.
The record straight on so many misconceptions out there regarding President Trump's plan to deliver the persecuted Christians of Nigeria. There have been a lot of videos, people saying all kinds of stuff. I've seen too many emergency political analysts or geopolitical analysts saying all kinds of stuff just based on certain templates that they were already used to. But understand this, like I always said, international politics is very fluid and it's not a one-size-fits-all kind of stuff. It's something that changes with time. And if you don't flow with the change, you're going to get carried away by what you are coming from. For instance, if you had an experience with a particular president of the United States of America, you might be standing the risk of translating the actions of the next president of America based on the experience you have with the previous president, forgetting that policy changes happen when presidents change. Okay? And there are so many other dimensions and dynamics that actually are not static. They are very dynamic. So you have to be flexible and dynamic enough to be able to understand what is going on. Now, let's come down to what has been going on. You know how that there has been a massive campaign, a massive outcry, in fact, global outcry against Christian genocide in Nigeria. You know how that started, how that Bill Maher, the American journalist and comedian, how that he raised alarm, and then the thing caught fire all over the place and everybody started talking about Christian genocide in Nigeria, and all the madness that's been going on in Nigeria began to come out now because the mainstream media never reported any one of these things. But today, the rest is history. Everybody now knows about the genocide that's been going on in Nigeria for the better part of the last 15 to 17 years, if not even more than that. And nobody was talking about it in the media. All we've been hearing about was Palestine, 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 Palestine. And the moment President Trump decided to step in, people began to claim that, oh, he's trying to come and take our oil, he wants to take our minerals and all kinds of stuff. And I've had to address that in the past. But now, let's cut straight to the chase, right? I want to give you a historical background of why we are where we are today. I want to tell you exactly what is going to happen and why what is going to happen is actually going to happen. Many people do not know where this whole thing started. You know that Bill Maher made a video and everybody started talking about the genocide, but you don't know what happened before that. I told everyone in one of the videos I made, I think that video needs to be showed. Maybe I'm just going to play that video for you to see briefly so you can see how that I spoke about Israel's involvement. And just in the last week alone, a lot of people have now seen Israel has come out in the open and talked about this. In fact, the day the United States of America bombed Sokoto, the Lakurawa terrorist group, their base in Sokoto was bombed. The same day that Donald Trump ordered for the bombing of that base, that terrorist base, it was that same day that Benjamin Netanyahu, for the first time in his Christmas Day message, mentioned the Nigerian situation. This was probably about a week or two after I had made a video to tell you guys that Israel is definitely going to get involved in this because Israel is going to stand a major risk if the terrorists of Nigeria are allowed to gain access to the oil wealth of Nigeria. Listen briefly to that video right now.
Of all the three major tribes in Nigeria, Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba, the Igbos are the only ones who have staunchly, vehemently resisted the introduction and imposition and spread of Islam in their territory. They have resisted it vehemently. Till this day, Igbos make up 99.something% Christian or animist or traditional worshippers. And that's why they don't take Igbos for granted. They're going to plan well. They're going to use everything within their power, and they will invade and they will hit, and they will hit from every corner and make sure that everything bows to them so that they can take. But you know the caveat here. Going to Igbo land isn't just about taking them because of the fact that they have not allowed Islam to thrive. There is something. The oil. The eastern part of Nigeria is the oil belt. And everybody is scared that the moment they lay a hold on the oil belt, that Abuja will be the next one that will fall. And when that happens, you have a whole nation, the most populous black nation on earth, with the biggest oil wealth you can think of in Africa, in the hands of terrorists. Do you see how quickly they will spread their extremist ideology across the continent of Africa? And how that they will now be able to fund serious attacks on Israel. Israel will probably be the hardest hit from what will happen in Nigeria.
At the time I was making this video, nobody believed that Israel was going to get involved. But then, by the time you finish watching this video today, you will understand how that Israel had been involved from day one. I will tell you how that happened, who made it happen, and why Nigerians must brace themselves for what is coming, because there is no going back at this stage. Let's go back to many years ago. The Bauchi state governor was on Channels Television, and Chamberlain and a few other guys were asking him questions about a topic that came up that people were rumoring on. Everybody thought that topic was just rumors. They were just a lie. The guy literally came out and admitted that the Nigerian federal government was funding the influx of Fulani people from all over the world. Like literally the border was being collapsed completely for Fulanis to walk into Nigeria in droves from different parts of Africa. He mentioned Gambia, Senegal, all over the place. This happened, and the guys were so confused. I mean, I remember watching this live when that happened. I was as confused as the journalists who were asking the governor, what are you talking about, sir? Are you really saying that these guys are going to be allowed to come into Nigeria funded by the federal? And the guy was busy saying that the Fulani man is just a global citizen. Can you imagine the lunacy how ludicrous this is. That the Fulani man is a global citizen, that wherever he lands is his own country. If he lands in Bayelsa, Bayelsa is his place. He's indigenous to Bayelsa. If he lands in Enugu, then he's indigenous to Enugu. If he lands in Sokoto or Kano, he's indigenous. If he lands in Benue, he's indigenous to Benue. Can you imagine this? This actually happened. And just so that we don't argue too much about this, I want you to listen. Just take a few minutes and listen to some excerpts from that video.
I said there is a lot of mistrust and misconception with regards to the Fulani man. The Fulani man is a global or an African person. He moves from the Gambia, from Senegal, and his nationality is just a Fulani man. And as a person, I may have my relations in the Cameroon, but they are also Fulani men. I have relations because from the maternal side, I'm a Fulani man. And that is why we want to educate people. A Fulani man sees himself as a Bayelsan, as somebody coming from the Niger Delta, because he speaks the Niger Delta language, which you and I don't. And of course, we would have to just take this as part of our own heritage, something that is African, and that we cannot just close the border and say the Fulani man is just a Nigerian or this. No, in most cases, the crises are precipitated by those outside Nigeria. When there is a reprisal, it is not the Fulani man within Nigeria that causes it. It is that culture of getting revenge, which is embedded in the tradition of the Fulani man, that attracts reprisal from all over the world.
If I understand it, does that mean that those Fulani men who are maybe domiciled in other countries, who move around, they can come into the country and this plan will accommodate them as well?
Yes, that's what we want to do.
This is so mind-boggling. That's why I kept saying that if this video had come out at a time like this, I bet you a lot of people will say this is AI. It's not real, that there's no way anybody can be talking like this. That this happened. And guess what happened? Muhammad Buhari came to power May 29, I believe, 2015. By 2016, a program was launched in Nigeria. Guess what the program was? The program was called Operation Safe Corridor. Operation Safe Corridor is what we call it AKA Repentant Boko Haram or Repentant Terrorist Program. Repentant means that these guys created a program also funded by the federal government of Nigeria. A program that allows for terrorists, not just the Fulani now, not even the Fulani militia, terrorists that have come from outside the country and are operating in Nigeria, killing, maiming, decapitating people in Nigeria. They opened this thing so that through this so-called Operation Safe Corridor or Repentant Boko Haram program or the Repentant Terrorist program, they can be assimilated into a place that they claim they carry out rehabilitation for them. And every few months, they'll pour in hundreds of these guys into their place and then take them through some VIP entertainment program that they don't show everybody in the whole world to see. And when they are done after about a few months, maybe 2 months or so, they bring them out and call it graduation ceremony. And at that graduation ceremony, they have now been christened repented or repentant Boko Haram members or repentant terrorists. And that means that these same terrorists from outside the country who have so-called been rehabilitated are now allowed to be integrated into the Nigerian society where they didn't come from. And they are not just being integrated to move as normal people. They are told that they can actually fight for any political post in Nigeria. They can become presidents, they can join the police, they can join the military, they can join immigration, they can join any civil service position they want to join in Nigeria. In my short life on earth, I've never seen anything, and yet that program since 2016 has remained until this day. Even under Bola Ahmed Tinubu, they are still doing it. In fact, the governor of Borno State came out in the news and claimed that so far they have integrated over 300,000 of these guys. Killers who disembowel pregnant women, open their womb and take out their babies and kill the babies, who rape like it is no man's business, who actually destroy Christian villages, chase those Christians out of their villages. The ones they didn't kill, they kick them out, and those Christians have now ended up in IDP camps. If not for the awareness that was created and America getting involved in this, many people didn't know that we had close to 6 to 7 million Christians that are living in IDP camps, and they've been living there for more than a decade, probably even 15 years. What happened to their homes? They have been dispossessed of their farmlands and their homelands. By who? By the same Fulani people. Remember, it started with the governor admitting that they were coming. As they were coming from outside the country, from all over, in their hundreds of thousands, if not millions. Where are they supposed to stay? They are not being resettled. And the only way they get resettled is by fighting to dispossess the original owners of the land, of their lands and their farmlands. And that's why they kept the whole idea of Christians in IDP camps so secret, tight-lipped about it. No media in Nigeria was allowed to report it. Mainstream media, which is in cahoots with these guys, was never allowed to report it. They kept it all quiet until this outrage, this outcry came up. That's why my brother and friend, Congressman Riley Moore, came with a team to Benue, and they found out on their own no longer what we were posting and talking about. No, they went on ground to see. They said in one location alone, they found over 600,000 IDPs, internally displaced persons, all Christians. Imagine Plateau, imagine Yobe, imagine Taraba, imagine Kaduna, imagine Borno. And all this went under the carpet, swept under the carpet. Nobody said anything until the global outcry began. But why did the global outcry begin? I'll tell you where it started from. I'm not sure anyone has told you this, so pay attention, please. I'm going to take my time. What I'm about to tell you is the major reason why I decided to make this video. Everything you've just heard me say is just a recap of what you already know. But let me tell you where this started. The signal is that because in their minds, they believed Nigeria had become a Muslim nation, 100%, which is why the Muslim ticket happened. And that is what gave him the audacity, the boldness to go to the United Nations, to forget about his nation and focus more on the things happening in 3,700 kilometers away, Palestine. Right? That was what gave him that. So he was basically subtly, indirectly telling Israel, we have the capacity to help these people get free from you. And so Israel is now helping to bring that war to help Christians be free from you. And they will do it militarily. They will do it with intelligence. And when Israel tells you intelligence, remember the pager of what happened to the Hamas and Hezbollah guy.
Focus on the man in the checked shirt. In a moment, he's on the floor, wounded in the midriff. A pager in his bag or on his belt has exploded. CCTV from another shop shows a man check his pager before it too blows up at his side.
Electronic gadgets and all kinds of stuff, intelligence sharing. And that's why you had the bombing that took place in Sokoto, when many of us didn't even know there was any terrorist base in Sokoto. Intelligence was on ground. Mossad has been on ground for as long as you can remember over this matter. You are trying to indirectly say we have the capacity to come and help the Palestinians, and they got the message. They are now coming in, not even telling you. They are now coming in because they have the capacity to also help the Christians in your enclave. And guess what? The second signal you send to them is two-state solution. So you better get ready. I'm not going to be very explicit about this one, but get ready, because the people who want three-state solution in Nigeria, where you're going to have almost 3 different nations pop out from Nigeria, get ready for that, because you're most likely going to end up with that. Everything you wished, everything you spoke about is now going to happen to Nigeria. Watch out. Cares not taken, you're going to see Biafra arrive any minute, and you're going to see other nations arise any minute. When you when you thought we have gotten it all, just when you thought we've been able to subdue over 200 million people and nobody can talk again, just then, boom, they switched on you. This is why it's not good to celebrate too early. That outing at the United Nations is what has led to all of this. That's why Israel said the killing of Christians in Nigeria has got to stop. And then after that, as if that was not enough, Benjamin Netanyahu just said it again, that listen, we are going to have to get involved, open another front in order to help to protect Christians in Nigeria. I told you, Donald Trump, even some people in our base, some MAGA-based people are angry that in fact, they even feel Israel controls Trump. Trump is the strongest Israeli ally I've ever seen in the White House in all my life. I've never seen anyone who fought for Israel. I've never seen anyone who has supported Israel. I've never seen anyone who has defended Israel like Donald Trump. Anything that would affect Israel, he gets involved. That's why America is involved, and people were there talking about all kinds of nonsense, mineral, this, that. Do you know how much leverage America already has on ground in Nigeria that you're talking about mineral? Anything America wanted to get from Nigeria would have gotten it. This is about the risk that having a nation like Nigeria with the kind of oil wealth we have, having it being controlled by these terrorist elements means that anything that anybody in Palestine needs to be able to fight Israel until Jesus comes, that they will get it from Nigeria. Nigeria will now become the #1 sponsor of terrorism against other people that are non-Muslims in Africa, and Israel is going to be the #1 target, because which other place are Muslims actually being threatened like that? It's basically in that Palestine. So, and to now have the vice president of Nigeria send secret codes in his statement, I don't know who wrote that statement. These people don't know how diplomatic statements are written. How they wrote it was too obvious. It's not even diplomatic at all. You were sending secret information, secret codes. That means we have gotten this place now. All the oil wealth is in our hands. So we are going to show you very soon that you cannot continue to do this to Palestine and get away with it. So it's no longer only Turkey or any other place. This is within Africa. All the oil wealth, billions. We're going to use it to support. And already they are bringing terrorists from all over the world into Nigeria. New terrorist organizations are springing up every now and then. So imagine the fear that Israel must have suffered. That's what spooked Israel. And Israel was like, you know what? That thing that is going to give them the capacity and the power to come and attack us and destroy us, or maybe align with some other nations that are close to us in order to destroy us. That funding, we are going to cut away that funding source from them. So the best way to do it will probably be to balkanize Nigeria, break this one, break here, break there, and you have just one tiny little enclave where you people are practicing your Sharia, and that will be something that you got upon yourselves with your own mouth. And I know it won't stop you people from saying that it is Igbo people who did it. It won't stop you, but that is what you got upon yourself. That's why when I see people talking everywhere, this one will talk this one, this one will talk this one, this one will say this, I'll just be laughing. What do you know about geopolitics that you're claiming is this, is that? In my video before Netanyahu got involved, I told you that the fear is that these guys have already surrounded Niger Delta. They've surrounded eastern Nigeria, which is the oil belt of Nigeria, and in no time they will take over the places they took over in Borno and all those places. The mining sites there is being controlled by the terrorists. Imagine terrorists are controlling mining sites in Nigeria. It's not even a secret. So all the gold, what about the uranium in Sambisa forest? What about all these minerals? They are the ones controlling it. What then do they need money for that they will not get? So imagine when they now gain access to the oil, which is the big boss. There's nothing they will fund any war against Israel in a heartbeat. That is no longer even speculation, because your vice president went there to go and give them signal that this is potentially what you should be expecting. Boldly talking about two-state solution. Why not minding your own business, your internal issues? Speak about it, leave. Even if you are doing anything, you keep quiet. You are talking to Israel. Israel has now responded. So I hope that you guys will enjoy the ride, because it's only just about to begin. I see Gumi, who is the chief terrorist sympathizer in Nigeria, who negotiates for them. I woke up today and saw a video where they say that someone called him from Abuja, Aso Rock, and told him that he's one of the people that President Trump is targeting to take out. After they have taken Maduro within just a few hours or minutes, everybody now is worried. I hear that even the Gumi has gone to delete all his posts against America on X and Facebook, because they took Maduro. They don't know the might of America, because America has been in the hands of some charlatans all these years. I told them, this man in the White House is not your mate. He's not a child. He doesn't play. The Trump of the first term is different from this Trump. This Trump is here for what? To correct a lot of generational anomalies. That's what he came for. Too many generational anomalies are being corrected right now. But the way he's doing it, a lot of people do not understand. That's why they are so confused. Some are even angry in his base because they don't know. You need to get access to supernatural intelligence to understand the way this man is going. He's here to correct a lot of things. You may not like the optics, but believe me, you need to trust in the plan. He's here for good. It's for our own good. Do you remember how you people told me that I was sick in my head, that I was mad for supporting Donald Trump? Today, he's the reason many Christians today in Nigeria, in fact, all the Christians in Nigeria, he's the reason you guys are now smiling. You went through Christmas, New Year, no bombing, no killing, no coffins, caskets lined up everywhere. When was the last time we had Christmas in Nigeria that we didn't have dead bodies? That's how we used to celebrate Christmas in Nigeria. In the past years, recent time, that's all we've been seeing. Today, it didn't happen. On the same Christmas when they would have been killing us, Trump went to go and kill them. They said over 700 of them were massacred in one day, and they were on the run, running around the whole place. Do you know the amount of intelligence America already has on all these people, on their bases, on their secret bases, their sponsors? American CIA and Mossad most likely have been working together in Nigeria for months now, and you think you can run. You think it's your social media post that is going to make them believe differently. You think if you delete, after deleting, they won't know. They have information on every single soul. Everything you have done as far as terrorism is concerned, they know, they have it. Because now for Israel, this is a matter of survival. This is a matter of survival, a matter of life and death. It's no longer negotiable. Israel must step in because they know they can never leave the wealth of Nigeria in the hands of people who are threatening them subtly over Palestine. This is how Nigeria got themselves into this mess, and it turned out to be for our own good. So for people who don't believe in God, for people who don't believe that God answers prayers, this one is for you. Tell me, how did this guy get to the point where he had to go to United Nations to talk about Palestine, to take a swipe at Israel? It is God. It was divinely orchestrated, because it's a no-brainer. Like, who are you to go? Focus on your own matter. You left it and you're talking. So that's how God wanted to deliver the Christians, because there was so much hopelessness in Nigeria before this happened. And now that hopelessness has disappeared. People are so hopeful now. The hunter has suddenly become the hunted. In closing, I'm going to tell you guys something. This is politics, and I need my Igbo people to pay attention. So remember, I gave you predictions about how APC was taking over southern Nigeria. I did it about 2 months before it happened. And I told you that all the governors in eastern Nigeria were going to join APC, and they did. Virtually all of them now have joined. I told you what the plan was. But now listen to me. There is something it's an ongoing situation. It's unfolding. It has not fully unfolded, but it's unfolding now. If you look very closely, you must have seen that recently there's been a lot of attack on Igbo businesses in Lagos. You know, we took a break from that for some time. That is something that has been the norm, right? But we took a break from that. But all of a sudden, it looked like there was an uptick, right, in that same attack on Igbo businesses. And I'm going to tell you something that will shock you. I don't want to be explicit with this. I'm going to speak in parable, okay? And I'm going to try my best to see that my parable is not too complex and complicated for you to comprehend. So Bola Tinubu has been cooperating with the United States of America in all the attacks and all the research and everything going on intervention. They said you should release Sunday Jackson, a Christian man who was attacked by a Fulani guy on his own farm, attacked and stabbed twice. He overpowered the man, took the knife and stabbed the guy, and the guy died, and they now sentenced him to death. This is the Nigeria we had before this time. And so one of the conditions they gave to Nigeria was that guy must be released. Another condition was that they must disband the Sharia police called Hizbah, and that they must abolish Sharia. Those two have not been done, but Sunday has been released, right? So Bola has been cooperating with US to a large degree. Some bombings that they agreed on were being carried out. But here's the deal. Bola is in a fix, in a way. It's almost like he is trying to respond to America's demands, but also trying to please a base that will get so angry if he didn't do too much. And because of that, now it looks almost as if the political wind, this is where the parable comes in, the political wind that everybody saw was inevitably going in this direction. In fact, many people could swear that political wind, nothing could make it leave that direction for 2027, right? And then all of a sudden, it looks like there is some type of distrust from above. And that distrust has now impressed some type of pressure on this wind, and the wind is now being compelled to move in a different direction, and this has now sent shock waves in the camp of these other guys who were going in this other direction. I am not going to go beyond this. The wave for 2027 was supposed to be going one way, and because of a pressure that was being applied due to lack of trust or the loss of trust, the wind is almost being redirected another place. And because of that, the very common thing that you should expect is, as is always the case, is that Igbos are the reason this is happening. Igbos, you're the reason why the wind is shifting. You're the reason why the wind is blowing in a different direction. So you're going to suffer for it. And then they will come after Igbo businesses. So for the few who may have gotten a wind of what is happening, the information will go to their foot soldiers, and their foot soldiers will descend on Igbo businesses. And so I'm going to tell every Igbo person, be extra careful, because when the die is going to be finally cast, that when it will go beyond the place of hush hush and become mainstream news, you are going to see a lot of reprisals against your businesses. I put out a video by, I think it was January 1 or maybe December 31st, and in that video I made it abundantly clear that the glory of Eastern Nigeria was roaring back to life in 2026 with full force. I made that abundantly clear, and I am still saying it to you today. And there's a reason why I said that. It is not speculation, it's not hallucination, it is not wishful thinking, it is reality. I'm not even prophesying, I'm telling you what is real, what is there. So if you have believed me all these years, better go and start carrying out your feasibility studies in Eastern Nigeria. Better go and start looking for land. Start thinking of how to get your businesses home. It may not be immediate, because many of you have lived in Lagos and other places for a long time and built your businesses for so many years. So moving abruptly may not be the best. Take your time. Go do feasibility studies. Those of you who went home for Christmas and all that, take your time. Survey the place and begin gradually to make your moves. Begin to reduce the pressure, the economic pressure you are mounting and depositing outside of Eastern Nigeria, because the East is roaring back to life. Economically, infrastructurally, and otherwise, the eastern part of Nigeria is being reborn, and no demon in hell can stop it. It is already on the go. So be careful. What lies ahead of us is going to be a little turbulent, because both the United States of America and Israel are locked in. They are not looking back. Their mission in Nigeria is cast on stone. It's no longer a matter of speculation. It's cast on stone. What I cannot do is tell you all of the mission, but their mission in Nigeria is done deal. And the way it unfolds will determine how much reprisals we receive on ground. And that's why not just the Igbos, but everybody has got to be careful, because Nigeria is about to go through a time of labor, a massive traumatic season of transition and transformation. It is going to be revolutionary, of historic proportions, but at the end of the day, it is going to be for the good of all. This is the kind of deliverance that people will transfer the information to the generations unborn. It is a kind of deliverance that comes at a point when all hope is lost. We will celebrate it. We will forever thank God for it, but don't think it's going to come very cheap. There will be some reprisals one way or another, but at the end of the day, it's going to be for our own good. So I just want to say that I have so much to say, but I'm going to just wrap it up here. And I want to let you know that I love you with all my heart.
Oh yes, something is happening. Something is happening in the country. Well, I love the way this man used to analyze the politics and the things happening in the country. Analyze it in a very, very nice way that even the kindergarten, the child unborn, used to understand everything, and he said the truth. If you come to the system of Nigeria, to the issues surrounding Nigeria, you will understand that this whole thing is caused by the government. It's caused by the government. Imagine a state governor claiming that Nigeria is the home of every Fulani man. In fact, that the world is the home of every Fulani man, and they already opened the border. to everyone, as long as you're a Fulani, to enter into the country and also to go back. But at the end, they will tell you that they don't know who is coming or they don't know what is happening. But they are the main sponsor of all those things happening in the country. If you come around, look around the issue of Christian genocide, how it's being perpetrated, how it's being carried on, then you will understand that even though the presidency, which when Buhari was in power, when all this thing was happening, he did not even say anything. He don't used to do as if it concerns him. Only that he is a government. Once they are government, they will tell you that he is not aware. That is only the language he used to speak about. He is not aware. So they used to be aware of everything that is going on in the country. And all those things, it is caused by the government. You will see your people, how it's been perished, how their home is being ransacked, chase them out from their home, villages, burn down their houses and everything. The next thing they will tell you just ordinary herders and farmers clash. It is very, very shocking. Herders and farmers crash. Well, the other thing here is that had it been it is not US that rise up against this thing that is going on, and upon that, the government, they are not happy with it. They are lobbying US left, right, and center, trying to close everything, claiming that there is nothing like Christian genocide going on in the country. Imagine the country we are living. But at the end, something is happening. At the end, people is dying every day. At the end, life is being lost every single day. There is no day you wake up, you tune on your radio, your TV, your anything. You listen to all those broadcasts. You will not hear that 1 or 2 or 3 persons have been unalive in this country. Every day. And at the end, they will tell you that there is something that is happening. And who used to cause all those things, who used to carry all those things? All those things is caused by the Islamists, the jihadists, the Boko Haram, and all of them is being connected with the issue of trying to take over the land, trying to Islamize everybody. But if you are talking about Islamization of the country, the same leaders, because it's just like they have already planted every of their sectors into everything, every of their members into everything they are doing in the country. Both in law, both in government, both in social, local, and both in military. All their members in everywhere. They know how to plan it, how to carry everything. At the end, they will tell you that it is none of them. No, it's not them that is happening. That nothing that is going on in the country. In fact, it's very, very shocking. Well, we hope that the arrival of US and also the Israel intervention, so it will stop those issues. But we believe that the best way it is to make sure that the country is being divided, because if not, no matter whatever the American do in Nigeria, at the end they will still start again and do the worst. That is what is there, because their mindset is how to make sure that everybody become Islam and everybody become their own people. Or in fact, to take over the land and collect everybody's. If you don't want by you, that is their own aim of the whole thing. Well, I would like to hear your comment down below. What do you think about the whole thing that's going on in the country? Like, subscribe, and share the video to go around. Let others see what is really going on in Nigeria. We say thank you for watching.